Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
Mix 94.7 KMCH. Well, our guest of the day segment in the studio with us first off this morning is Roger Thomas from Elkader. And, well, Roger, thanks for joining me this morning.
Mike, thanks for having me in. I really appreciate the time.
Oh, I got to get that. There we go. I got you on.
All right. Hey, Mike, thanks for having me in. I really appreciate us having the chance to promote our Highway 13 Vintage Market.
You bet. That is coming up April 23rd and 24th at the Rural Heritage Center in Elkader there. And first off, why don't you let's start by having you tell us a little bit about the Rural Heritage Center.
Sure. The Rural Heritage Center was started in the year 2000. And it was basically one man's collection that he was trying to find some place to put it all, because he was preserving the artifacts and the history of rural life in America. And to be able to have a collection this extensive in one place is pretty overwhelming. I mean, every day, just yesterday, we were cleaning up and getting ready for the market, and I found an anemometer. I think that's how you're going to say it.
What is an anemometer?
Well, it had a little wind vane on it, and it had a little fan in it, and it had a little gauge on it, so you could hold it up. I think in the wind, you can tell what the wind speed is. And I've been giving tours there for well over 3 years. First time I ever saw it.
Oh my!
And it was in front of the 300, at least 300 clocks that they're on display as well. So it's in the old sales pavilion or sale barn in Elkader, right between the city campground and the Turkey River. So it's right close to Highway 13, i.e. why we call it the Highway 13 Vintage Market. So it was built in 1919 and was originally built for the Elkader Fair.
Oh, yeah.
So we actually have books there talking about the Elkader Fair, until it disbanded, I'm going to say in the mid 50s. So yeah, it's an interesting place, and we're constantly creating new displays and finding new treasures that we didn't know were there previously.
Ah, very cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening at the market then.
Well, the market is of course a museum and a heritage center is something that you got to find resources in order to continue and improve and build. So we came up with the idea of having the vintage market there, so vendors come in and with different products, whether they're homemade or repurposed or antique, barn finds, whatever it might be. And see, I've got a little over a dozen. We've been impacted. Of course, we had to cancel 2 of our markets earlier, last year. And so this year, our vendors are hesitant about coming in, but the place that we have, it's going to be 90% indoor, and they'll be selling a lot of fun stuff. The last time we had the market, we had over 1,000 guests register, because we like to have them sign in so that we know where they're coming from or whatever it might be. So we had over 1,000 people attend to come into the market. So bigger and better this year, we're hoping.
You betcha. And you're still looking for vendors?
I've got a couple. I had a lady, unfortunately, medical reasons, she had to cancel, so I'm trying to find 2 more.
Okay.
I've had a couple call, but so far I haven't received their application. So I'd be willing to accept, the right person. We try to jury all of our vendors, and it's just not, and keep away from duplications. And so it's been pretty successful. But yeah, I might have a space or 2 spaces left. Always have a little bit more room outside because you can spread people out a little bit.
And it's just $5 to get in, and that covers both days?
Right. Covers both days. $5 to get into the market. We do a wristband situation. And then also that lets you see the museum, and kids 12 and under are free. So it's a good family opportunity. And of course, the museum is open every weekend up until October. Yeah, it's a fun place to spend some time in Elkader, especially if you're camping up there or And not only that, it's just spend a day in Elkader, do some shopping.
You bet. A lot of
Yeah.
things to see there.
Right.
In addition to the museum, you could easily spend a whole day there, right?
Oh, yes, very much so. Yeah, it's real easy. A lot of people, the right next to the museum on the Turkey River there is where a lot of people put in for the kayaks
Mhm.
and float down to Motor Mill, of course.
Sure.
And so, yeah, it's a pretty popular area right in there.
And it's a fundraiser, of course, for the
Fundraiser.
Heritage Center, so you can keep that going and keep making
Right.
that bigger and better.
Right, exactly. This year, this summer, hopefully the gentleman that started this museum and all the things belong to him was George Meyer.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he served in World War II, and I just heard that May is Military Appreciation Month. And so we're going to build a room called the Soldier's Story,
Oh, wow.
and got some grants from the Area Community Foundation. And I've had two UNI history students working on the biography of George, and also his service with the 6th Division in the Philippines and New Guinea. So he was in the midst of the whole big fight there. And I just picked up yesterday in cleaning up, he had a book on MacArthur. And of course, that's where MacArthur said, "I will return."
Mhm.
And so I think George saw quite a lot of action. He was a quartermaster that a lot of truck driving. And I have to admit, I only knew of George. I never had that much interaction with him. But one of the ladies that did said that he fairly seldom talked about World War II, but she did say that he disclosed a couple bad things that he was involved in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
An interesting addition, that'll be, no doubt.
Should be
So-
a great addition and we hope at some point in time to be able to expand that out to others, that especially now that basically the great grandkids or the grandkids don't know what to do with this stuff. So and they don't want it. So we just accepted an old Fordson tractor the other day. We've accepted a restored John Deere B last year, I believe. So people they know it has value, but they don't have a room in their garage for it anymore, and they want to get it someplace where people
Right.
can see it.
All right, the Vintage Museum, Highway 13 Vintage Museum, Friday, April 23rd, 3 to 7, Saturday, April 24th, 9 to 3, at the Rural Heritage Center. It's in Dubuque, just right off Highway 13. You can't miss it.
Yeah, in Elkader.
In Elkader.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
So-
and look for the big corn sheller with the big Highway 13 vintage market sending out at the intersection. So, it's the second exit to your left coming into Elkader from Manchester. We hope all the folks that listen to this station will take time to come up and check us out and check out Elkader.
All right. Roger Thomas with us this morning on Mix 94.7 KMCH. And I know we're keeping them waiting, Roger. They want to find out who's
Right.
playing.